I want to talk about a similar pattern I've noticed. So there's four different families, probably more if I think about it, but four different families, and this families are structured the similar way. So two kids, mother and father, and essentially, what I noticed is that one child starts is thriving, and the other child starts struggling, and then they start succumbing to addiction and drugs. And it has nothing to do with like them being guilty about like shame about the other child. It's actually due to one child is actually spiritual and they're actually good. Like they're interested in spirituality, and the other is material. And all the whole family is essentially attacking that one child. Essentially, if you're doing drugs, you never feel bad because essentially you're doing those drugs because someone around you doesn't love you. And you might not even know why you're doing so many drugs, but essentially the root cause is because you're missing something. And essentially we have things that make us happy, and essentially one of them is essentially love. And essentially if you're missing love, you're gonna start doing things that hurt you because you want to fill that void. And essentially I didn't even realize that for myself, but I noticed that even like example, I had a cousin that he essentially suicided, and essentially because and he was getting to like all that drinking and stuff like that. He was a young guy, essentially because his family was attacking him and making him feel like he was worthless and shameful. But essentially, it's because he was probably the sensitive and like person in the family to the spiritual realm, right? The black sheep of the family. Another one. It was like a family friend. It was like a evil witch woman that was connected to my evil witch mother. And essentially, this woman would, she was like raising these two boys in a trailer in the forest. And essentially, I remember one time my mother left me and my evil sister, twin sister, there for a week. And it was horrible. It was like, she would drive, it would be like driving, you're like driving in off hours into the, okay, it's like you're in a city, you drive into the highway to go to the next city. There's like an off ramp, and you're already like an hour into the trip, and then you drive another hour off that ramp into this dark forest where it's like a bog, and there was slugs, massive banana slugs everywhere. It was just like muddy with leaves everywhere. And essentially, this woman lived in this trailer, and it was filled and filled and filled with junk, and it smelled like mold, and it had a room filled with all the stuff the child left and everything, the two kids. So then I heard that she was a really shitty mother. Essentially, she had a shitty ass husband that was abusive, and essentially he died. But essentially he died like he was found dead in his home in like a pile of shit. Because essentially he drank himself to death. Because essentially this woman is a witch, yo. And essentially my mother is a witch. Essentially I've noticed patterns like women, they like to sleep with men and then dump them because and then the man gets traumatized. It's like they steal something from him. They attach an energetic cord to him and drain his energy. And essentially you can be living with a narcissist woman or your mother, and essentially you're feeling always like a heavy atmosphere, heavy to breathe, shame, because you feel like you haven't provided enough for them, because they're always sending out a signal like that, like a signal that you're picking up that they're like everything's so hard and just complaining all the time, life's so difficult, and it's like they're draining the energy. But essentially I noticed, okay, so back to the story, like, so I noticed this woman, she was raising these two boys, and they were beautiful young little boys, and then straight up one of them thrived, and the other one, he became like a homeless junkie that just wandered around on a bicycle and essentially never could recover. And then it's like they would say, oh, the brother would come and help him, or I don't know, maybe he stopped trying to help him, but essentially they always pretend like this other sibling is always like a lie. They always pretend, oh, they try to help him, they're trying to come and show them, here's how to get a job, or here's some advice. But it's like the other child never accepts it because they can feel deep in their core that this sibling doesn't love them, because it's witchcraft. It's a spirit of witchcraft that's controlling the family dynamic. Essentially it's like a demon entity that takes over the female head of the household, and then she essentially sacrifices some younger child in the family to lift up the other one that's going to be trained up to be the next witch of the generations. And essentially, okay, here's another situation. My uncle, let's see, my uncle in another country, and this one is in I'll just say, I won't say the country, but straight up, this uncle is, and I'm not, I have family here that I'm like, what's it called, separated from, removed from, and I just removed my evil witch mother and my evil sister, and they were the only family I had here. And I have another family in another country, and they were kind of warm, but they never came here. And I visited them twice, but you know what? I'm starting to realize that they're all witches and warlocks. And I'll explain. Okay, so this family now, I'm noticing a pattern. This, it's like you don't think so, because this is like a family of natural witches that do natural manipulations. They're not like, oh, they know about the occult and they do like rituals in the night or candle stuff or like sigil work or any rune stuff. No, no, no. Or like summoning anything. No, no, they do. It's just that as I know, but when I see them, they were just random Christian Catholic people, but people are doing like there are natural witches who just do that by nature. They do manipulations by nature. Essentially, this family. Okay, so here's the dynamic: son, daughter, mother, father. Essentially, the uncle, he's got cancer. He's like overweight, complete fucking alcoholic. Just like my dad, actually, interesting enough, who's separate, who's like in the country right now, fucking drinking himself to death. But see how that works? The witch marries, they get divorced, takes something from the man. The man gets weakened and addicted. And it's like all the men in Hollywood too. And essentially, okay, this is also okay. So then my uncle, he's like a fucking completely, the things he says from his mouth is fucking disgusting. Like the jokes he says is so lewd and trash. And I don't want to say classy, but I'm so much classier than that shit. Like I have a certain limit. Like there's times where I'll fucking say some lewd shit and trashy shit, but I probably will have some liquor in me at least. This guy's like, I mean, he is a fucking drunk all the time, but the point is like, it's like part of him. Like it's like the more you speak this foul language, foul thinking, it makes you internally corrupted and rotten. And I remember I visited him, and the whole conversation he was talking about just disgusting shit about women's things, and then smelling it, and like it was like his humor. Essentially, this whole family was laughing, but I was just like, what the fuck? And then essentially, this guy's like losing his mind and drinking himself to death. And then the woman, there's a wife, right? She's very overweight, but it's like she's in control of everything. It's always like that. The one woman who's the older witch, she's in control, pulling the strings. And then her daughter is a judge, a well-off judge. The son was addicted, homeless, cracked in the street, cracked out, and then the fucking dad had to go into the streets looking for him and pull him out. And now the son is living upstairs, still in the house, so he hasn't maintained his own self, grounded himself. He hasn't broken free because he doesn't know. And this is what the witches want. They want you to be living with them forever. They're gonna steal your energy. The men always die first because the women are witches, doing witchcraft, stealing the energy of the men. And essentially, they bind the male, they bind the man, they shut down their energy chakras, and they get the male to start having muscle atrophy and back pain and everything, and health issues. It's because they're doing witchcraft. They're doing witchcraft, putting witchcraft in your stomach, putting witchcraft in your food. This is how the system works. A complete cased system of energy vampires, of witches, warlocks, and wizards who use demons to attach energy cords and shut down our chakras and send energy to us, and fuck, things that you have to learn about, guys. I'm trying to talk to you guys about, trying to expose here. And what else can I say? I'm noticing a pattern. I see it all the time. I would see it when I started waking up. I started seeing customers. I would see people walking down the street where I know, like, yo, your partner, like your lover, or like your mother, or whatever, your parent right now is controlling you right now, and they don't love you. They're just literally like, your life is cursed, and your life is like you're being drained. All your energy is being drained. All your money, everything is being drained because this entity is attached to them and taking energy from you, taking. So they're sabotaging you energetically. Okay, peace.